All right, let's hit this shit.
All right.
All right?
All right.
Good evening once again, everyone. It's that time of the week and that time of the evening for another edition of the Sunday Evening Vibe Show. And I'm your man, Mr. Just In Case, in the place to be. How you all doing? How's your weekend going? Are you looking forward to your bank holiday Monday? Must send a big shout out straight away. Goes out to Caramel, also to MrHandsum in the chat room nice and early. That's what I like to see. Hopefully you would have heard or have read or you just know that today is going to be a special show, another chat show. Today we're going to be looking at the aspects of friends and friendships between man and woman. Got my special guest, you should be calling in soon via Skype. That's MrHandsum. Hope you all are ready for him.
You're listening to Helix Radio #1 on the internet.
That's right, Helix Radio #1 on the internet. So like I said, it's a chat show again this week. At friends, friendships, and everything that's entailed between man and a woman.
This is your computer speaking. Keep me locked into Helix Radio. I like it here.
Also going to have the Skype lines available for you all to call in if you've got a view on the topic at hand. All you got to do if you hit the webpage, there is a Skype me now button, or call me now button via Skype. You can just hit that and you'll come straight through. Alternatively, you can add helixradio.com to your Skype account. That's helixradio.com to your Skype account. And then I'll add you to the conversation as and when. And like I said, I got H, MrHandsum. He's somewhat a specialist on the topic at hand. So he'll be giving us his views on the matter. Not going to be playing too much tunes, hopefully, this evening. Maybe just one or two. Let's get the show on the road, see what can go on this evening. We're going to play a couple of tunes before we start the conversation, start the topic. Get things moving. Pull up! Pull up! Pull up! Yo! Pull up!
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your DJ.
Just in case. Yeah.
Making you feel uncomfortable. Words can't make you feel uncomfortable. Situations can't make you feel uncomfortable.
I'm sensing a certain flirtation vibrancy coming out from this. I have to put up my...
Not from me, I hope.
Well, I'm not going to mention any names. But
No. Keep it clean.
I got to keep my hetero shield on, you know.
Yeah, same here, blood, trust me. So tell me, we ain't seen you for a long time, so how's things?
Things are good, man. Things are good, you know. Trying different things and all that stuff. I can't complain.
Okay, cool. So this topic that we've got, friendships, it was actually your topic, right?
Yes, it was.
Okay, so I'm expecting a whole heap of in-depth information and reasonings coming from you this evening.
Man, that's all I've got. Anything that I bring up that, anything I suggest I've thought through in great depth, so I'm definitely willing to take it all the way to the end.
All right, then. So, okay, I'm going to ask you straight away, and I want to see everyone's opinion in the chat room as well. Must say a big shout out goes out to Dave. Welcome to the show. Also to Shadow Girl. Also to Caramel as well. I want to know what your definition, and I want to know what people's definition of a friend is.
So you want to know my definition?
I want to know your definition of what a friend is. Yeah.
I think for me, a friend is someone that I can rely on a greater level. Like, you know, maybe someone that can even help me out in times of financial need. But the finance is not the measuring stick. It's just that finance is often a theme of great intimacy, where people are very reluctant to get into that level because it brings up emotion. So I'm just using finance as an example, that if someone can help me out in that aspect, which is an aspect that has broken up many friendships, then I consider that person a friend to me. If it's something, and vice versa, if that's someone I feel, you know what, I can entrust them with a financial loan or something, then that person is a friend to me. If that's someone I don't feel I can entrust them with that, then that person would be an acquaintance. And I'm just using that as an example. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I get that. So basically, using the same example, if you don't, let's say, trust them to that level, where you can borrow them money, lend them money, take money from them or whatever, entrust them with that sort of thing, then they can't be a friend. Is that what you're saying? Or they wouldn't be a friend?
Yeah, I mean, that again, it's that level of intimacy. And I use intimacy, and people misconstrue it as sexual, but intimacy is just a level of sharing. Like that might be a person you might relate something that's very personal to you, like a family matter, like a family member in a serious situation, maybe some kind of ailment or something, or a fear that you don't really share with other people. So that's just a level of intimacy. That's what I mean when I'm talking about intimacy. So if we use that as a marker, that's someone I don't feel that I can do that, because at a certain point they may exploit that revelation that I shared with them. Then that's not someone I would call a friend, and that's someone that I'd probably call an acquaintance or an associate.
Okay, I think I understand what you're saying in that it wouldn't just be any and anybody. Even though you might have known somebody for 152 years, that doesn't necessarily mean that they've reached that standard whereby you can class them as a friend, and secondly, entrust them with such a valuable thing to yourself, whether it be money, whether it be your car, whether it be staying in your yard or such things, because you wouldn't just invite an acquaintance to sort of like stay overnight in your yard and you're not even there, right?
Right.
Right. So those of you in the chat room, what are your views on what makes a friend? Because you've also got different types of friendships. One thing I wanted to sort of like try and probe you on is the difference between friendships between males and females. Like, for example, you may have a particular level of friendship with males, whereas your female friendships, it'll be on a totally different level, right? Also, I find that men may not have, and similarly with women, they may not have as many same-sexed friends, or the dynamics between the friends, the so-called friends that they have, would be vastly different.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. I think a lot of times with friendships, people they're not always honest about their intents. They're not honest about their feelings. A lot of people try to put forward a facade that's really not what it's about. And, the last time we had that discussion regarding working out with me, you, and Soulful, where it kind of branched into that, where people are not being honest about their friendships. A lot of people will say they've got friends, but when I'm talking about friends, I'm talking about heterosexual friendships between a man and a woman. And sometimes the man is just lurking there waiting for her to let her guard down so he can get his leg over, and that's just the honest truth about it. Because not saying every instance is like that, but a lot more are like that, and if one can test and see the reality of it, because a man and a woman might be cool. Let's say it's a man, he's lurking around waiting. The man and the woman might be cool, or they seem cool, and then the woman might say, "Oh, I met this guy, and things are going well," and she might notice the energy between this so-called male friend that she's had for a long time has suddenly changed.
Yeah, I fully
His
agree
tone
with
might be different, or you might say snidey little comments like, "Him, really?" And it's like, that's really got nothing to do with your friendship. I mean, whatever she chooses, she chooses. If she decides to confide something in that, then you can bring that analysis. But you offering that before she said anything, I've seen that as a form of sabotage, because that person is getting in between what that guy really wants, which is to get his leg over in a most crude sense.
So I've got this theory that that men and women, or a man and a woman, can't be proper real friends because of similar things like you just said, in that the man, or even in situations, the woman, she would be looking for it to advance to a more physical state.
Yeah, I think that you have a point there, especially if they are sexually attractive individuals. I usually have female friends that I'm not sexually attracted to. So that won't happen from me to them. It would happen from them to me, but then I can control it. But then you're right, because it's not about just the man being attracted to the woman. The woman might be attracted to the man, but she's kind of lurking by, waiting for him to have a moment of weakness or make a move. So you do have a point there. I'm trying to think, and just due to the nature of man and woman, what one would call a friendship, I don't know. But then we have to go into what is a friendship then? Friendship? Yeah, go on.
Sorry, no, go on.
No, I'm just saying that then we have to ask, what is a friendship? Can people have can they have a sexual relationship and still be friends?
Well, it's funny you should say that, because just before the show started, I wrote down a specific note geared around what you just said. I've been in sexual relationships with women, and they weren't friends with me. I wouldn't view them as a friend. It's just that the qualities that you actually look for in a friend, specifically, you know that person they don't possess that quality. You know that person's actually quite a selfish person, as an example. The things that you, or me in this instance, the thing that I would do for them, I could never see them even think about doing for me in return in the same way that I would do for them. So then even though, we might have been laying down in the bed and all that, they're not a friend of mine. As a matter of fact, I saw them as an enemy, because, like I said, I mean, being in a relationship, say, for example, you saw that someone was in need of finances and you're able to provide that without any ties, because you're already in a relationship with them. You would give them the money. But you know for a fact that if it was the other way around, that person would not even think about doing that for you. And that's what the case was with myself. And I just thought, no, this relationship is rubbish. I need to get out. And so I did. Caramel says that the majority of her friends are male, and she's never had the problem of men hitting on you, Caramel. Is that what you're talking about? Also, Shadow Girl says that heterosexual friendship that as a harbor shark basis is not a true friendship, because a lot of friendship, like H was saying, a lot of people are not true within the plans that they're making for this friendship. Like someone might approach you, oh, let's be friends, but what are their true intentions? Friendship is formed. You can't just make it just so. It's developed over a time.
Yeah, I just think there's some many people are just oblivious to what's going on. They don't see those little details. Like, in a sense, sometimes I test out things and I notice little details. I notice what people mention, or the change in their mood. A lot of people don't see that. They only live within their own world. So they'll say they've got all these, these male friends that there's not a problem, but those men might be really meek. They're really meek and they're not making that move. But the ultimate test, and I think I said that before and you lot were laughing, like, I mean, if you sleep in the bed with the man wearing panty and bra, is he gonna continue to stay as he is? If he is, then you could continue to say, you know what, that might be a true friend. But if you've not put him through that test, how do you know?
So you're saying that women should put men to that test to see whether or not they pass it.
Yeah, because if it's your friend, he wouldn't make that move. The women that I have as friends, I don't like them sexually. So I've been in the same bed as a female friend, but the honest truth is I did not like her sexually. If I did, I would have made a move.
But I'm not going to
pretend.
But one may be able to argue that if you're a true friend, you wouldn't test a so-called friend in that manner. You wouldn't put temptation in their way in that manner.
That's true. You could say that, but if you've not, some people don't have those awarenesses, or a friendship is defined by the test it goes through. If both of you lot have not gone through anything, how do you know that person's is your real friend? If you've never had a moment that you really need someone, how do you know that person's just not an acquaintance? So you have a point, but if you've not tested something, how do you know that it is what it is? If you've got a car or a plane and you never fly the plane, how do you know it's a plane or not just a replica?
I guess you're right there, and I think you are right in that it's not necessarily that you are testing people on a regular basis, but you're assessing people on a regular basis to see whether or not they're living up to the status that they've assumed, because they've come into your life. They're going to assume that they're going to be your friend, and like I said, I would hope any woman that I've sort of like linked with, any woman that I've got involved with, I've always had the view that, this is gonna be my partner for life or for a long time. But then after going through whatever, 6 months, a year, whatever, you find out, what, I don't even want to be with you no more. This is just a sexual thing or whatever, because everybody misrepresents themselves to some sort of degree from the beginning. But what you don't want is for, like you might say something to draw people's attention. Like you might be funny, or you might have this deep voice, or you might have this knowledge or whatever. But it's not until someone actually gets to know you that they see who you actually, you're just a dickhead like everybody else, because your facade drops after the 6 months or whatever. So you're not even a friend.
Yeah, I agree with you. One thing that I do that can accelerate that waiting period is I find if you travel with someone, you can really know. I mean, ultimately you live with the person, but living with someone is long. You don't just move people in willy-nilly. So the one thing you can do that I've done is if I've traveled with someone and I've not, come to blows with them, I think that we've now stepped onto another level, because when you travel, you're stepping out of your comfort zone. So that facade is harder to hold up if you're an actor when you're not on your performing stage. So if you travel, and especially if you leave the country, let's say you leave the country with that person, you find out if that's really a person that you can get along with on another level. Because, like I said, when we're all in our performing stages, we can keep the act on for a long time, and it takes longer observation of that person before you say, you know what, I see the strings behind your costume. Them wings you're wearing, I just see that you got them from Marks and Spencer.
You can't knock on Marks and Sparks, quality stuff.
Oh, yeah, they are. So let's maybe say Tesco's or something like that.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. But no, you're right there, because there is a saying that if you really want to know somebody, go on holiday with them. And like you say, you're on holiday, they have to wake up, they have to have breakfast, they have to get washed, they have to get dressed, they have to go about their business, whatever, all on holiday, as if you're living with them. But like you say, you don't want to be moving in with people to be finding out these things because it's just too long. And I've known people that have had so-called friends for like 20 years and stuff. They've gone on a 1 week holiday with them, and there's never again. No, I can't stand that person. They're this, they're that, they're rare, all this sort of mix up because they finally see what the person's like to be with them 24/7, even though it's a short period of time.
Yeah, that's why I agree. That's why a lot of people will say, "Oh, I've had this person, a friend for this and this, and then this." You know, and they're like, well, they've never done this. I'm like, they've never been put to the test. Give an example. I was with a female, I'm going to call her a friend. I was with a friend yesterday, and she said she went somewhere with some of her friends, female friends. They went on a little road trip, and they got into a disagreement or whatever, and she wasn't the driver, and they just left her there. And gone about their business. So I'm thinking, that's deep, but it just ties back to the thing that she considered those people her friends. She knew them for a long time, yet in the short space of time on that trip, just the concentration of feelings and emotion, because you're always around each other, that tested what the true friendship was. And obviously it wasn't a friendship, because you don't leave friends stranded in another city with no transportation.
Yeah, indeed. So tell me something. You personally, right, if you were somebody else, whether male or female, do you think that you would be a good friend to you?
I would.
Bit hesitant though?
Well, I don't share too much, but what I offer, I come through on. If I say I'm going to do something, I'll do it. I generally don't double back on things like that. So what I give you, what I show you, I come through on. Where some people show you everything and they don't come through on half the things. They're like, no. Yeah, like if I said, oh, Case, if you come America and you come to a specific place that I'm at, I'm going to get you. Like, I will pick you up from that airport and you don't have to get a hotel. I'll sort you out. I'll come through on that.
Right. So a lot of people talk the talk, but they can't even crawl the walk.
Yeah, they'll just say they'll do this, they'll do that, rah, this and that, and then come to it, they come with another excuse. Like, oh, Ray, you know what? My phone, like, I had to change my phone and I lost my contacts. Were you calling me? Rah, this and that. I don't do that. What I offer, I'll come through on. If it's something that I'm not going to, then, you know what I'm saying? You'll sense the hesitancy, and you'll realize that's not what I'm going to stand by. So yeah, I would say yes.
I fully understand, and I think I'm exactly the same. Whereby, if someone asks something of me, rather than even though I might know I can do it, but if I've got a slight doubt, I would say no, I can't do it. But I'd look to do it anyway, as a sort of like surprise, or let them know that okay, I sorted it in case you haven't sorted out that thing there by yourself. Sort of thing. But like you say, a lot of people, they will talk, they will say, yeah, man, come to you, everything crisp. And then before you know it, you've gone through all of this trouble and whatever to reach this place. And with the people them there, you can't even find them. Like you say, lost their phone, or their phone locked off, or foolishness like that. I mean, I've done stuff to support people, as an example. Now, I don't have to support anybody. I'm an individual. I'm very individual. I'm a loner. I class myself as a loner. But if I can do something for you, I'm not even looking for a reward or any great acknowledgement or nothing. I will do it simply because I can. But I find that's very, very seldom replicated. It reciprocates. No, people can't. They find it hard or impossible to do that back for me for whatever reason. Yet still, I'm getting phone calls. Yeah, come and reach, come and do this, come and do. What the hell's that all about?
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. These day or this day and era. I mean, now you're coming into. We're now pretty much fully into the information era, and you've got a lot of social media, and the whole concept behind the word social almost links towards friend. You talk about community and all that, but some people, they give you all these contact means to contact them, or they're backing you, and they don't really do it. So yeah, I just think that the current climate is more pushed towards false friendships.
That's what I think. When you say, did you say forced or false?
False, as in someone saying they're a friend, but they've not exhibited anything that would indicate. Like, I wouldn't be, like, I might say I'm not even that person's friend, but I'll be more consistent, or I'll be more reliable than their so-called friend.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I might, like, oh, you need to do this, or you need to get that, I'll drop you there. Oh, we can hang out. I'm like, nah, I don't really like you like that, but I can't leave someone stranded.
Right.
So the irony is that even though I'm not claiming to be that person's friend, I'm more reliable than their so-called friend.
Right. Because there's also forced friendships whereby, people will do for you what they don't actually want to do because they're looking something from you. So typically, I don't know, say between a man looking the friendship off of a woman, and I often say this whereby some man, when they're ready to go and check another woman, they're negating all their homely duties, like their children, their missus, their wife, their mothers, their sisters, their everything, in order to go and furnish this new piece of tail with whatever she wants. So, this man's never helped anybody around the house with, say, fixing the washing machine. Yet still, some new girl on the scene, her washing machine ain't working. Man don't know nothing about changing a plug or nothing. Oh, I can do that. I'll come over and I'll do that for you. Just to sort of like get in there. So he's building up like a portfolio of what a friendship should be, just to try and get into her knickers.
Yeah, and just to draw on to what Shadow Girl said, true friendship doesn't seek a reward for a kind gesture, and that's true. I think you mentioned it earlier. Like, when you truly like someone, like that person's truly your friend, you really feel that that's a friend. When you do something for them, it's like when you've got an abundance, you just give it out. You don't even remember that you gave it out. You gave it out. Whereas some people, they're taking mark, or they're taking itinerary. They've got a list, like a shopping list. So, you remember I did this for you. Remember I did that for you. And I'm like, if you're going to do it like that, then don't do it, because I don't want you to be, I don't want these type of favors.
Yeah. And these things, you find that in 2 years time, oh, remember that time I did this for you and you still can't do that back for me. I don't think it's I believe a friendship, any relationship, but a friendship should be balanced. So, I've got so-called friends. I only hear from them when they want something. So I know, so one time I see their number ringing up, I thought, you know what, allow that. Because I know you're only begging something. You're not bringing anything, come give me. And it's not that I'm looking at anything from you, but it's just to show where that particular person is coming from. So if that person can't bring something, give me, but they're always expecting me to bring something to them, then what is that's just them using me for what I can do for them. That don't make no sense. If you want something from me and I can give it to you, then here, take it. But don't be coming under this false disguise that you're some sort of friend. You're not a friend. You're just trying to use me. But I can see clearly through that.
Yeah, I mean, with friendships as well, if you break it down, some people, you have to kind of break it down like a transactional situation. When I talk about transaction, it's like if you got something, a product or a service that you offer, I've got to compensate you for it, or you're losing out for your time and your labor to actually get the skill to provide that service or to get that product. So some people may take advantage of one's abundant mentality, like, oh yeah, I'll sort you out like that. And there's some people that they're like parasites or leeches. And I think for a friendship to be healthy, as you said, there've got to be a balance. You can't have a leech just there leeching, because that person, even if you've got that abundance, it's like a parasite is only just eventually just going to mess up your system. Like, even if you've got enough food and you got a rat that keeps coming out every night and popping in the larder and nibbling off one of your biscuits or a loaf of bread, but you put like 4 loaves a day so that you don't even notice the little slice that the rat nibbles, it's still not productive to have that rat in your house or part of your team. So I would say, you know what I'm saying, in conjunction with what you're saying, that the friendship has to be mutual. Both people have to be carrying their weight fairly equally. If not, then it's not a friendship. Yeah, it's just like you're a guardian. You're carrying Pickney or something. You know what I mean?
For real. So let's talk about, because I'm a person, I've got male friends. I've got people who are like proper friends that I grew up with. But when it comes to like people that you see every day or talk to every day, you like my friends, they're not even my friends actually. They're like brethrens, they're proper brethrens. Like I said, I grew up with them, know them for like 40 years, 30 years, something like this. So I wouldn't class them as friends. They're brethrens. They're like next to blood kind of thing. So they don't count as friends. But you have people who you've met maybe over the last couple of years, and they seem to think that they're your friend. But they don't understand. They're not, like you said before, like you said at the top of the show, they're more of an acquaintance. But they don't understand that, especially when it comes to man. I don't have man friend like so. But I'll have woman friend. I'll have woman friend dating back from like yesterday to like 40 years ago. Because me and women, we can always get on. We can always get on. It's not that I have to be like sexually attracted to them, although it does help. And in most cases, that is the case. But that don't even mean say I need to be trying to get into their knickers or nothing like that. It's just that we're friends. But what I find is that because of how I am, because of how I lyrics women, they seem to think that I'm after more than friendship from them. Do you find that's the case as a man?
Well, you give out mixed signals, so I can understand that confusion that the women think. And I think internally or at some point you enjoy that power because it seems you mix, the intentions are mixed or the feelings they've got for you are mixed. So they're in this unbalanced situation. I'm pretty frank. I'm kind of learning to flirt more, but flirting gets long for me. Like, it's just not an area that I necessarily enjoy, but I'm kind of moving into it and I see the power of it, because you got some people that they don't know where you stand. But on that note, I don't really get that, because I'm fairly straightforward with who I am. Even I just think there's an honesty to who I am as a person, and people sense that. So those who are my friends, they are because I've given them that real early. And there's a pro and a con to it, because if you've not tightened up everything about you and you give someone who you are, if they've got bad mind about them, they can exploit that. You know what I'm saying? But if you solidified everything and you know what your so-called weaknesses are, and you share that with someone, they can't do nothing to you because you've already gone through it already. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you tell someone about, I'm just going to use an example, something that's close to you, but you've already gone through it and you've resolved it emotionally, and someone's like, oh, I know you like cats or something. You're like, you know what, when I was young, I wanted a cat, but man around the area booted the cat and it split in two and it bothers me, so I always wanted a cat. If you've resolved that for yourself, a man goes on, I should, you know, it's someone who claims to be your friend, they say, you know what, I want to boot that cat and split it in two, deliberately trying to get under your skin. They can't, because you've resolved it. So to boil it back, what I'm saying is that a lot of the things that I share, I've resolved within me. So that honesty is there, and those who will be, and those who don't will not.
Okay, I'm quite secure in everything that I've got around me. I don't feel a need for any extras at all. And must send a big shout out goes out to Leo in the chat room. He says, why do you need to be sexually attracted to your friend? It's not that there's a need to be sexually attracted to a friend of any whether it be, women don't have to be sexually attracted to a man in order for him to be the friend, but it does help. Like I said, that's all I was saying, that it does help. And to re-emphasize this, I've known women that I've met in chat rooms, and chat room being a faceless thing. You chat with them in private and whatever, chat on the phone with them, and they're all, yeah, man, wow, you sound like an ideal man, and rat-tat-tat. Then when I turn up, they're not attracted to me. So then the friendship, as it's called, or whatever it was, just vanishes. But then again, they weren't after a friendship, were they? Because I know I'm the same person no matter what, no matter who I'm with. I'm the same person. Also, Shadow Girl says, I have a male friend that almost stopped being a male friend because he got mad when I asked him to help me repair a bed. What? Did he help you to damage the bed? What? How did that happen?
I think with that Shadow Girl incident, that goes back to what I'm saying. And Leo's in the same mind space as me. If he got mad because he wanted more, he probably wanted to help her break the bed further, then he's not a true friend. You know what I'm saying? So
Shadow Girl and her man, as an example, broke the bed and then brought in some next man to come and fix it. So the man who's coming in to fix it is like, rah, you and your man mashed down the bed and you don't even bring me in, panda. That's liberties, though. You know, if you can help somebody, like I said before, if you could genuinely help somebody, why not just do it and done? You know,
he's not a friend. He's lurking. He's waiting for the
for an opportunity.
He's waiting for the flowers. I'm just keeping it real, and people just have to be honest about that. And I don't know, I just find that people just they play around with things. Just keep it frank. You know what I'm saying? When you got a lot of things going on, you can keep it frank. Like just if the person wants something, you can decide that. I don't know, man. Like people just they say things like her example, to me, that guy's not a friend, because if he got mad because he wants more, but now he's like, you know what, he didn't abandon the friendship doesn't exist. You can't abandon what doesn't exist.
Right. Leo's saying that with these women that I met up with, that they obviously wanted more. But I didn't match up to what they was expecting. That's all fine and dandy. But I'm not expecting you, that's the women, I'm not expecting no woman to look like this one woman described herself beforehand as looking like Beyonce. So I go and meet her down in Hammersmith. She gets in my car. Like I said, okay, you don't like me, how I look or whatever. Fine and dandy. But your face was paste with this makeup something now, I can see the dimples in you. Why would you liken yourself to Beyonce and it's pasted on? I don't get it. But yet still, you're going to be looking for me to be attracted to you. Them things, they don't make no sense to me.
It's like some people, they want a job that pays them £1 million a year, but they bring like 20K a year skill set to that job.
Yeah,
it's
indeed.
Like,
yeah.
It's not fair. You know what I'm saying? And it goes for the man as well. If your man is sloppy and he's looking for like top 10, you know what I'm saying, global model, he can't really be upset if she goes for the best option, But yeah, you see it at times. I think the online space, especially if you don't see them, it just gives fire to people to let their imagination go riot. They start to expect Morris Kodjo or Morris Chestnut to just happen to be online and single, looking for, looking for gal that look like Wurzel Gummidge or something. You know what I mean? And no disrespect to Wurzel, but you got to be realistic. If she looks like Wurzel Gummidge, she can't get upset if the guy decides to say, you know what, I'm going to keep looking.
Leo says that anyone tells you they look like Beyonce on the chat room, it's a red flag. For real, but I was green back then. This is wholly for years ago, so I didn't know nothing about nothing. My page is frozen, so I'm gonna have to refresh my browser. So I won't be in the chat room. I'm gonna play a tune and then we're gonna come back. And we're back here with MrHandsum. And in the chat room they're talking about relationships where one's said to be boxing above one's league or out of when someone's out of their league, and it's been noted, or the case in point they're using is Jay-Z and Beyonce. Shadow Girl saying that Jay-Z is ugly. H is saying that no, is H saying? Someone's saying that Jay-Z, they're just standard people. And I agree with that. They're just standard people. I mean, Beyonce is a nice looking woman, and if you're a woman, I'm sure Jay-Z might tickle your fancy in some sort of way. But I don't know about this boxing out of your leagues type of thing. What do you think about that, H?
I think the league thing is very, very. It makes total sense. People like to give it a good one on paper or in person. Like it's like. When you apply for a job, you bring your CV. You say on the weekend I volunteer at charities. I like kind people and all that. But your acquaintances or the people you hang around with are not reflective of that when you truly see that person. So people say, "Oh, this league thing doesn't come into play," but how come good-looking men and good-looking women never have an issue getting relationships? Whether they retain those is another story, but they never have issues getting into them. How come Butters people are really gruesome? I won't even say gruesome. Let's say you 4'5" and your teeth are pointing all over the planet. You got one tooth pointing north, you got one pointing east, south, northeast, northwest, and your nostrils are from ear to ear. That guy, he can't just step in the place with a known person that people have acknowledged is good looking and have the same batting average. That's the reality. So people say I don't believe in that, but they don't act upon that. To give you a quick example, I heard one woman at work say the same thing. Oh, sorry, but I just heard what you said. Let me try and do that. Yeah, I heard one woman at work say the same thing. She's like, "Oh, I don't believe in that. Personalities, this and that." And I quickly pulled up this thing off this guy. He used to play basketball for the Philadelphia 76ers. They'd have these jokes as the most butters NBA players at the time, and he was like in the top 3. I mean, in his own personal life, you'd have no issue because he's a millionaire, so he's always going to get what he wants. But in terms of on an aesthetic standpoint, to be honest, he looked like a burnt gargoyle. And when I showed her that picture, I said, "Well, would you date him?" She's like, "Oh, he's not my type." But I said, "You said that you base you picking a partner on personality. How can you say he's not your type when you've not met him? I only showed you a picture." But because I caught her off guard with the picture quickly, and when you see the picture, you're like, "Oh, wow." So I caught her, and that was her knee-jerk response. So me saying that is people give it a good one, but look at a person's actions as opposed to what they say. So Caramel says neither her and her friends are attracted to status and power. No disrespect, but I don't believe a word of that.
I too, I hear that sort of like from people, women, that it's more a personality thing. But of course, I think we've all got our assumed standards or what we would like for our any mate type of thing. So, you know, you might, no. If this was the case, no, I want a guy, as long as he can make me laugh, or as long as he's not shorter than me or whatever. But then you meet someone who ticks the boxes according to what you've just said, but then you haven't heard a word that comes out of their mouth yet. But it's not my it's not my type. Look how he's dressing, or look at, is that what he's driving, or whatever. We all have our standards in our head of how we want someone to be aesthetically, and I think it's only when it comes down to eating the pudding that we find the proof.
I totally agree with you. I've seen it so many times to know when people giving it the lip service. So yeah, I mean, I'm not some rookie that just popped out and just jumped on the pitch. I've heard this lingo for a number of years now, and it always plays out the same way. So as I said, by and large, women are attracted to power and status. So when Shadow Girl is saying Jay-Z's butters, in America, if you got yourself sorted, you're getting money, Jay-Z's got a whirl of gal flowing like river. Trust me, girls flowing like river, all shapes, sizes, anything he wants, buffet. So that means nothing, and those who live there realize it, because you can't pay for your hair bill with a man's good looks. Oh, I've got a really good-looking boyfriend. Yeah, love, but that's going to be $1,000 for the weave. Yeah, but my boyfriend's really good-looking, and he's very tall, and he's chocolate. Yeah, but I can't pay the bill with that, so have you got the £1,000 or not? And that's just the reality of the situation.
Caramel's asked, Mr. Case, what's your status and where's your power? My status is available, and I can show you my power. But then, of course, I'd be inboxed left, right, and centre, and everybody would want a piece of Case, as the case is always the case. But no, I think when it comes down to actually picking like I said, a potential mate, partner, or whatever you want to call it, that there is an amount of lip service. There is an amount, unless you've been through certain things and you found that, you know what, these things don't work for me no more. And typically, it's women of a certain, or people of a certain age. As you get older, you get wiser. So that's all fine and dandy. But I just don't see that some people, they still look back on their old values. So they're still prepared to talk the talk, but they can't walk the walk for whatever reason. It's like they don't want to commit themselves to being with this man that's not really that attractive, not very tall, and unemployed. Even at my age. What do you mean at my age? I'm nearly 53. I'm not that decrepit. Jeez. And my back problems are being sorted. Don't you worry about my back problems. I can just allow me and my back problems.
I think there's a Jamaican herb called strongback that can fix up his back problems, so he can still throw a walk here or there, isn't it?
It's not even my back that she needs to worry about, so make sure you stay there.
Yeah, Shadow Girl is saying that women with no class looking for a man to finance their hair. My point wasn't really that he's directly financing. A woman likes a man to be able to take care of her. That's why they say they want a man taller. Why would a woman want a man taller than her? Are they going to play basketball? What does the height have to do with it? Nothing. The real thing is that in nature, they want a man taller than them so that they can feel that he'll protect them. Does it mean that tall man can knock out all short men? No, it doesn't. But nature is what draws them towards that. So it still goes back to the status and power. But see, I know the root of things. People say certain things, but their actions don't dictate that. You know what I mean? So that's why women are like, no, he's got to be tall, or I don't like a man this because I want to put on my heels. What does it matter if you put on your heels and he's shorter than you? If you want to reach a jam and he can't reach it, you know what I mean? Give him a boost up and he'll reach it. You know what I mean? That's what a partnership's all about, isn't it?
Here, baby, jump on my back. But no, as you were saying, because we had a talk show a couple of weeks ago, And I think it was Caramel was saying that women like to feel protected. That's why they may go for a man that's taller and wider, maybe, so that it literally wrap himself around her to give her that physically protected sort of like iconic status, if you like. So, I'm wrapping myself around you to protect you. And of course, everybody women want that because that's what the man's supposed to do. The man's supposed to protect them in that type of manner. Similarly, financially, that's the man's natural role. He's supposed to provide for the woman and the children and whoever else.
Yeah, I'm just saying that, there's a picking and choosing with what's low class and then what's high class. What does a man need to protect a woman from? You live in a society where you call police. You're not in the bush where lion and gorilla's waiting to jump on your back and he's going to go for the shorter couple before the taller couple. So that doesn't even make sense. But the point,
I think it's a mindset rather than anything else, because you can have a tall, lanky guy that can't do jack. And whereas a shorter guy, he could be down there and be kicking at knees and breaking ankles and stuff like that. But it's a physical, it's a mental protection, isn't it? It's just like, thinking that, because my man's got a nice car, yeah, I'm going to be able to do this and do that and where. No, the man's got a nice car for him. But mentally you're thinking, his car is my car.
Yeah, like I said, you're right. But you're right in the sense that it is a mental thing, and I do understand that. That's why I'm also giving the status and power is what counts. And I've been to different places where you'll see certain whoever's got the power and all that gets the best choices. Oh, well, she's just with him for the money. People are going to be with someone for something. She might be with him because of his height. She might be with him because of the length of his other leg. Who knows? But there's always something that they're going to be with him for. And whatever you put it for, whatever that thing is, you can still put it down as low class. But I'm just telling what the patterns are. If I tell you let's look at it from a job perspective. If I say from a job perspective, put this on your CV or study this course, get this skill set. When you put your resume out, your CV out, you're going to get the most job offers. You might get someone like, I'm looking for someone who's got more personality, but you don't really care about the outliers. You care about the bulk. So I'm talking about the bulk. Anytime if you're going out in a situation, you want to be going for the bulk. You could go out and not have a bath. You could go out wearing a cardboard box for an outfit. There's a woman out there that might like you for that, but most won't. So why are you going to wear the box and not wash and aim for the outliers when it's better to aim for the masses? That's all I'm saying.
Must have a big shout out goes out to Jake. I don't know what Jake's dancing to. Welcome to the show, Jake. There's no music tonight, mate. So, H, what other morsels of intellect have you brought to the conversation? Because, like I said at the top of the show, this was actually your topic, your suggestion of a topic. So, what other words of wisdom do you have for us?
Friendships between men and women. I think that both have to be honest about what they want. I mentioned before, and I can still play back on it, that a lot of people may not be ready for certain things, but they say they want it. Like there's some people that will be like, I want a relationship, but they're only saying that because it's the popular thing, but they're not ready for it. That's like me saying I want a house because I see all my peers have got a house.
And you got no job.
Yeah, I've got no job and I've got nothing to maintain the house. Houses don't just sit there and say I'm a house. A house has things go wrong. You've got to sort out all the amenities, all the utilities yourself. You don't have a landlord that's going to come in or a superintendent that's going to come in. A relationship is the same way. You've got to be mindful of the person in the relationship. You've got to understand them. You've got, you know what I'm saying? You've got to be thinking about them, you know what I'm saying, as well as thinking about yourself. Some people don't. They just want that relationship. And then when it starts to go down, they're like, oh, well, rare this and that. And I'm like, to be honest, love, and I'm going to use, and I don't want to make it a woman thing only, but I'm just going to say it because women often will call for those things. And I've been in situations and I'm like, you've not even exhibited the behavior that shows you're really ready for a relationship. You're very self-centered. You don't even know, you don't even observe what I like, but yet you say you're the most intuitive, you know what I'm saying, intuitive. So me saying that is that I'll be like, listen, love, you're not really ready for a relationship. You just want someone to give you the business like thrice a week, which is fine. This is 2016. It's not 1844.
So just call it what it is.
Call it what it is, man. Don't try and put this on everything. Realize what you want and realize the reality of the situation. Like I said, that guy that Shadow Girl says is an old friend, he's waiting to get the jokes. I'm keeping it 100 because any friend of mine calls me to do the bed, I'm going to do the bed if I can. I don't care.
Business.
Yeah, I'm going to go about my business because I have no interest in her. I have a female friend. She'll talk to me about this man or you think he was doing this and that or run. I'm like, you know what? I don't know. She said, well, tell me from a man's perspective. And I'll tell her I have no feelings. I have no intent to get closer because our friendship is what it is. So if she called me to do something, I'm not going to get vexed. That's one of the points I'm trying to make.
But also I think as well that, like you say that to women, people nowadays, I think it's a buzzword, one of them buzzwords, that people are looking for a relationship. You're looking for a relationship, but you, like you said, you don't have the qualities, to be in a relationship. You don't have the qualities to be in a committed relationship. You yourself, you need fixing. You don't realize that the baggage that you had from your last 5, 10, 15 relationships, you've brought them forward into this new one here. Whereas this person's coming and they're sort of like no baggage, or at least their baggage is stored away somewhere. They've come and they're prepared for this new relationship, but you're not. And you think to yourself that, oh, you deserve a relation. You deserve this from a person. You deserve this commitment from this person. You deserve this type of attitude from this person. When you yourself, you don't deserve it. So then when it doesn't come, you think it's that person that's bad or bad-minded or a dirty dog or whatever. When it's just that you're not deserving of such things.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That person is not eliciting the appropriate responses from that person. And then what you get a term of what's known as serial monogamy or serial monogamous, which is a person, which I mentioned before, they're in a relationship every 2 months because they don't have the right tools. It's like a person that has like 6 jobs a year. That person's not really ready for a career. If you get 6 jobs, that means every 2 jobs something happens and they've got, either they get fired or they quit. They're like, oh, nah, man, they're asking me for this and that. They've not even passed a probation period. They get another job because they have the ability to crack the interview, but they're in 6 jobs a year every year. So in 2 years, that's 12 different jobs. You got people, they're in about 6 relationships. No, let's say every 3 months they're in a new relationship. That person's not ready for a relationship. They should never have entered a relationship in the first place. They should just have said, you know what? I'm not really ready at this time, but I do need my physical needs taken care of. And as I said, this is 2016. This is not the Stone Age. There's a lot of people that do that, and that's fine. You know what I mean?
Just keep it real.
Yeah, just keep it real, man. What you got to lose? Some of you, you know what I'm saying? Some people are old. When I say old, you're not kids anymore. So it's no detriment to you if that's what you're doing. If you got someone that can sort you out until you're ready to take it seriously. Some people think that, oh, if I'm getting sorted out like that, it's damaging to me, and that means when I'm ready for that, I'll never be I'll never have the tools for it. But I disagree with that. And I said it before. I know people that have been sorted out, and after a while, they're like, I'm ready to take it seriously. And they find someone who's on the same page, and it goes. So
what do you say about these people that say that before someone is your lover, for example, they should be your friend? What do you think about that? Or do you think that your lover can be a person you can get on with, obviously, because you have to get on with them because you're going to be around them and whatever. But do they necessarily have to be like some people, oh yeah, my partner is my best friend. My partner is that not like mixing, I don't know, cornflakes and apple pie?
You know what? I kind of agree with you on that. I don't want to speak like affirmatively on that because I'm not really sure, but I don't know if the two work together. Like there's some people you might be cool with, like you really like them on a mental tip. And when it comes down to that, you either disrupt their mindset or what, like that takes them into a whole other dimension, or it just wasn't what you thought it would be, you know? And that's not to any fault of that person. I kind of like to go a little bit quicker in that direction because I've had instances where it's been longer for me. It's the mind thing. And then that aspect is just, it's just not good enough. You know, it's really not good enough. Then I've wasted my time.
I'm of the mindset. Must say a big shout out straight away goes out to Soulful Eyes for joining us in the chat room. How you doing, sir? I'm of the belief that no, if I see you as a potential mate, I'm going to pursue you as a potential mate. If I see you and I see you as you know what? Yeah, me and that person could be a friend. I'm going to pursue you in that manner. If it turns out that it can go the other way, then that's fine. That's all. It's always going to be fine and dandy. But I don't think that one should seek someone to be your friend that's going to turn into your lover, because it's not a given that a good friend is going to make a good lover at all.
I agree with you. And the problem now is that with these labels, it's difficult. That's why at the beginning I was like, I don't even either I asked you that or you asked me, what is a friend? You know, what defines a friend? And it's difficult to say that. Like everyone has different categories of what it is. It's like I always wondered about those people who are married, or what if they're in a if you call it committed relationship, but they swing. And I wondered about the mentality of that, because I think that's like it seems to be the ultimate friendship. And I'm just intrigued by that because the society we live in dictates that if you step with another partner in a sexual sense, you violated everything. But I wonder if we lend too much power to that situation. So I've always been interested in the honest mindset of swingers and say, how does it feel when you see your wife getting, you know what I'm saying, mashed out by so-and-so, and you've put the thumbs up to it, and vice versa for her? What's your mindset like? Like, I'm not judging, but I'm interested to see where they're at, because they might be on a higher level than us lowly mortals, who a lot of people are like, oh, well, cheated, so it can't work, done. And I'm like, that's a big thing to throw weight on just a step out.
An act.
Yeah, it's just an act. Like some people, it's just like, I just did it because, you know what I mean? I just wanted to stretch my hamstring. It was a minor. You know what I mean?
Because like with friends as well, friends will have things in common. Friends will have mindsets in common. But do you really want a friend to be advising you? You know, like your girlfriend or your boyfriend might be saying, "Chad, that's a waste girl," you know, or a woman might be saying to another woman friend. Oh, if a man cheated on me, I'd dash him away. But your lover, your exclusive lover, who's not necessarily a friend, but obviously they know what you have that makes a loving relationship, because it's not tainted by friendship attitudes, maybe. No, yeah. No, what I'm saying is, what you and someone who's a lover has, you can't have with a friend. You're not going to have that level of intimacy. It's not going to feel the same, because you know what you're doing. It's not just a touch and Lego type of thing. It's we fit type of thing.
I don't know, like, I hear what you're saying, and I'm kind of in that boat, but at the same time, the thing is, it goes a different way with me. I've gotten along very well with women who used to be tomboys, and the reason that is because they know how men think. They've been around men. They've heard all that talk, like, yeah, you see how the bottom's rotating. Watch when I get that. It's done. So they've heard the reality. They go out with the lads. They, whatever they're into. Maybe they're into football or fixing cars or whatever. So they've heard it from that standpoint. It's just gender-wise, they're female. So at some point, they're going to have feelings, towards men that obviously the other men won't, since the men are heterosexual. But the mindset, the socialization is different. So women like that I've been friends with, like, because I didn't even think they were like that. I was like, she looks all right. But the way she's coming across, she's not being, she's more like, oh, Mr. H, you're the Mr. H, yeah? Rare, I bet you think you're this and that. And you just kind of talk on a level, and then, because I had an instance and she was cool and she made real good rice. Like, the rice was heavy. So I'm like, Rare, she's cool. I like this girl, not on that level, because she didn't put it forth on that level. And I didn't want to, I won't say violate, but I didn't want to infringe on what we had. Then she mentioned, she's like, you know what? I kind of like you, like a lot. And I knew from the tone it was more than just like, I want to make jollof rice. I want to make a different type of rice. So I'm thinking raw, but yeah, so we went into it, but it worked. I just think that there, as you said, I guess there's a confusion, because with friends, you can be really, really honest. And maybe that honesty doesn't exist when you're lovers. So unless you're at that level, and I think it's a level of emotional maturity, which I'm not going to say that I'm at, but I aspire to. Until we're at that level of emotional maturity that I think that swingers might have, where you just say, oh, she looks good, or she might say, you know what, he looks like he's swinging a big kalong. You know what I mean? And however you deal with it, you deal with it. So I think that unless one is at that level, it's difficult. And then that's why I agree with you that friends and lovers, I don't know. So that's my take. I really don't know, to be honest.
Okay. So let me bring in about this, because obviously this is all online, and social media plays a big part in everyone's life nowadays. Facebook friends. Now, I don't know what it is, whereby you could be in whatever type of arena, but people will believe that they can be your friend because of something you've typed up. Now, you might have said something like, "Oh yeah, I hate slim girls." So someone said, "Oh, I hate slim girls too. Let me friend him," or something like this. Now, what is the point in friending somebody just based on a comment that they've made? I don't get that. And so then you have people that have 5,000 so-called friends on their friends list, and they never interact with like 96% of them. What is that all about?
It's just a show and tell. I don't have Facebook. I see people that have all this stuff, and when you talk to them, it's a false friendship. It's labels. Social media creates all these labels that they place on on things, and they call this and they're like, I've got all these friends and you can always reach me, but you can't reach them. You know what I mean? So I don't really believe in those things. I still think that friendships still have to be organic. And when I mean by organic, you still have to see that person. There might be an energy that they give off in person that you missed online. That's a positive energy. Or they might have a negative energy that they give off in person that you miss while it's online. And that's what makes you decide this is someone that I really want to be around. So all these things play into factor. And I think through the internet, you tend to miss it because there's a lot of posturing and fakeness online. People not really, they're just not being honest, so you can't see their expression. As someone might say, oh, well, I don't like slim chicks. But when you look them in the face, you see how their pupils are vibrating and flicking around, that you know they're lying. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take on that.
I have certain issues with guys online, because I don't know what it is about me or my persona online on Facebook. Guys don't like me, because I'll entertain women on Facebook in the groups as such, and they'll like my posts as an example. They'll respond to my posts. I'll respond to theirs. I'll respond to everybody's, but guys never seem able to respond to anything I post up. Why is that? How can I be an alpha male in a situation that does not have an alpha male status? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The online thing is just like, once you know what I mean, there's a lot of postures on there. I'm pretty much who I am in person. I might be more flamboyant in an online sense, because you can't. There may not be that. The repercussions aren't there, so it gives more lending to the honesty. But by and large, I am who I am. But there's a lot of people who aren't. They use the online thing as a mask to be whoever they want it to be. Like some people, like Ray, I wish I could be Superman, but I don't have the courage to put on the spandex tights and wear the Y fronts outside of my trousers.
But you see, the thing is, sorry to cut you, the ironic thing about that, as much as I believe it, I'm not how I am online, and I do have the Superman t-shirt and underwear, but I have showed it to people, but I am not this. I believe that whoever, like you say, whoever you want to be online, you can be. So if I'm posturing, like you say, online in this arena, what is stopping someone else from posturing? What is stopping another man from posturing towards me or at me or around me or what? I don't get it. Why is it that they just sort of like disappear? I don't get it.
You're saying that you're not who you are online, or
I am not this confident person that one thinks I am. I'm not this person that can go out there and chat to all these women and be the center of attention. I'm not that person, but I know how to play that role, because this is what I've decided from back in the days of chat room, that you know what, this is who I want to be. Mr. Case was invented for a specific purpose. This is who I want to be. Yeah, and that's who I am online. Offline, I'm the total opposite. There's a little bit of Mr. Case in there, but that's because within that the real life arena, there will be elements of online people present. So, for example, if I was to hold a party and certain people from Facebook attend, I know I've got something to live up to. So there's going to be a touch of Mr. Case at that party. However, people who know me intimately, know me for years, you know what? Yeah, I see straight through that persona. That's not really. He's the shy little person. He'd rather be sitting in the corner eating ice cream and jelly. That's me.
Yeah, but that means you've gone along what I said, that a lot of people, the majority of people online, because of the anonymity it offers, they're able to become the characters they want to be. That's why everyone online is sexy. All the men are over 6 feet. all the women are size 12 and under with the longest legs and no shorter than 5'10", or if they're 5'4", it's the best 5'4" you've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? So they're all like that because that's what the online offers. It's like, if you believe in the fantasy, you feel that you become the fantasy.
Carol says that Mr. Case is a liar, but Mr. Case is a good liar. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Mr. Case can back up anything he says to a degree, you know, to the degree that it has to be. But what I'm saying is that, you know, this persona that I've invented, that I'm living online, I don't see why some people shy away from that persona. It's just a persona. And even in certain groups on Facebook, I would say to people that nothing that I type here is real. But it's almost as if to say people don't know what to do with what I type. I don't know.
You seem like you're quite flirtatious, so some people don't know how to flirt. I've flirted a little bit. And people don't know how to take it. I mean, it's a power when you flirt. Women do that a lot because people are, you freeze them when you do it. They don't know how to take you, and it's enjoyable. So you doing that, you know, a lot of people just don't know how to deal with the flirtation unless they do it as well. And even if they do it, it doesn't mean that they know how to deal with it. They can only give it out. They can't receive it. So you seem that you toy around a lot with emotions, especially female emotions. And yeah, some people just don't know where to take you at it. That's why
I think I agree with you wholeheartedly on that one.
Yeah. So
Leo said something that you might be able to identify with. Leo said that men go to the gym. Men go to the gym for the sake of the pics. Of Facebook pics. And we know you're a person that loves the gym, right?
Oh man, like the gym works for me, man. But I'm really not. I've not really branched into the online pic market as self. I'm more like just, you know, wearing proper clothing or form-fitting clothing and just walking out, and you just, you know, you.
But going to the gym is very narcissistic, don't it?
No, it's not. You know,
no?
it's like saying putting on deodorant is narcissistic.
No, I put on deodorant to sort of like mask my real smell, because my real smell will just be too alluring to females, so I have to tone it down a bit. That's why I do that.
Yeah, you're the exception to the rule, isn't it?
I know, I keep saying this. Soulful Ice has a question. He says, my question is, if people invest so much in an online persona, how does that affect the ability to handle person-to-person intimacy? I think that's a very good question, Soulful.
Yeah, I find people, a lot of people that do that, they're not who they are in person. Not everyone does it, but there seems to be a larger percentage of those that they just can't match up. In person, they're super sexy online, and in person, you meet them, they can't make eye contact. It's like they can't wait to jump back on the net to be this superstar or supermodel they say they are. And I'm like, like it's like you're trapped within some kind of internet matrix.
Yeah, I
you know what I'm saying?
As you say, people can't. They go out to a party. They have to take. They're at parties. They're they're on their phones, online, onto Facebook. This is where I am. This is what I'm doing. Look at me. So, what is that all about? You know, enjoy the party. So at least you know the party's happening yourself because you're there. And then when you get home, you report on it. It's simple.
I agree with you. I went to a party when I was in Trinidad. I'd never been before, but I was in transit, and I said, let me see what this big TNT is all about. And I was a bit disappointed, and I guess that's a cause to the westernization of, you know, countries in the world. And, you know, Trinidad isn't that far from America, but I went there, and I went in a rave, and all the gal were lined up on the wall like mildew with their phones out. And I'm trying to I tried to chat to one, and she kind of shrugged her shoulder, but I got sharp eyes, and I looked, and I saw she typed something on the phone. She had a little smartphone. She typed creep alert. and sent it to like some social group that she's in. So I was a creep, basically. So I'm like, rah, like, you come to a rave, you dressed up, you held a fresh, all that stuff, you powdered your flowers or perfumed them, and you came out to just go on the phone. I just thought it's so, it's
so stupid. That's what it is.
It's retarded socially. I'm trying to think the right word. It's retarded socially. It's like you've not matured socially. The whole point.
Let's call it what it is. It's stupid.
Yeah, man. Have your fun. Take a few pictures and then upload them later. Don't be online at the moment. You miss the moment if you're online at the time.
Or the people that's in the party, the music is nice and they're on their phones in the party. And okay, you might get a phone call once you're out, wherever, whatever you're doing. And why can't you just draw one side, go outside for 5 minutes and take the call? Man standing up in the party on the phone. Yeah, blood. What? I can't hear you. No, it's all right. Keep talking. No. Yeah, we're cool, man. Yeah, I'm jamming. I mean, why? Why are they doing all that foolishness? They just have to seem important in the place.
Yeah, it's lame, man. It's as they say over here, it's a lame move, and it just shows that they're small inside.
Soulful say that it follows from people think Facebook is real. They do, and not only do they think it's real life, but their whole lives are on Facebook. Everything they do. Caramel says that Mr. Case's farts smell like flowers. You know what? People will. I just done a fart, and it smelled like flowers. They post that up on Facebook. And maybe even a selfie of themselves with their face smiling to say, yeah, the fart smelled nice, or some foolishness like this. Why this?
You know, there's flowers out there that smell like dog corpse, just to let you know. I think it's called a dog dead flower or something.
Well, my worst farts smell like flowers. Normally they smell like strawberries. So I'm good. Yeah, I tell you, I'm going to play another tune, and then we're going to come back. We're going to come straight back. I've got H on the line, MrHandsum on the line still. Soulful Eye says that he thinks the whole question of relationships is age related. H agrees with him. He says that we enter different spaces as we age. I don't know. Let me ask this question then, because we're talking about friendships, different type of friendships. So obviously we've got to touch on friends with benefits. Now, if you had a friend who gave you benefits, say a few years ago, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago or something like this, and you get to understand that they are single again, so maybe to some extent available again to you, would you pursue them in that role, H?
So they were giving me the benefits some years ago, and I saw them again, and they're giving me and they're offering the benefits now.
No, they're not. They're not offering it to you yet, but you know that they're available, as in they're single. Would you pursue them in that manner?
I probably wouldn't, because I don't like to wear shoes that I've already worn before, if that makes sense.
But she might have been digging you back then.
Yeah, but why did it dissolve then? And I'm saying probably. I'm not saying I wouldn't absolutely, but I probably wouldn't. You know what? To be honest, I might, but my mind changes as I get older. I have a very curious mind, and if someone doesn't evolve the same way I evolve, we're just not in the same mental space, to be honest. Like, there's a lot of things that I want to accomplish, and I'm hungry, and if I get that opportunity, I'll try it, because life is about stepping outside of your comfort zone. But some people are very comfortable in their comfort zone, which is why you call it a comfort zone, and they will not step outside of it. But the drawback with them being in that comfort zone is that they can't really offer anything new to the discussion. And as you know, if you've heard from the way I talk, I think I I can cover a large area of things, and some people, you can't have that discussion with them. You say, oh, they'll be like, oh yeah, I don't know. Oh, well, nah. But they want to go and watch some brain rot TV show that entertains them, like Basketball Wives of Nashville or something mad like that, which really can be summed up in like half a page. So, as I said regarding that, if their mind isn't like that, I'm just going to get bored. And at my point, at my level, or where I'm at, I realize that I can't compromise on that. The way my mind is, I'm just going to end up annoying them. Because if you're boring me, I'm going to start biting you. Not literally, but figuratively. I'll start irritating you because my mind is crying out. It needs sustenance. So,
but wouldn't that just be that you're looking too much into the so-called friendship? In that, if it's just a friend with benefits, you don't have to be linking, and indeed you shouldn't be linking them for mindful conversations or anything like such. It should just be you link them to do what you're supposed to do, and then that's it.
I mean, if you're talking just on the link thing, then yeah, but then that could be, I mean, there's nothing, if it was good then it probably will still be good. So yeah, there's nothing to that. I thought you were talking something greater than that. She looked good 10 years ago, and I look at her now and I'm like, oh, she still looks good and she's available. We already have that familiarity. You know, I already know that the left side, you know, it sags a little bit more than the right side, and that works out in my favor, and I'm going to pick up where I left off. So in that sense, yes.
Leo says that he doesn't agree with friends with benefits. What don't you agree with, Leo? I think friends with benefits, me personally, I think like what you're saying is that if we were friends with benefits back then, if nothing's changed, as in we haven't got a better understanding of anything or whatever. But then again, like I said, I might be looking I'm looking for more than what friends with benefits can offer me. So maybe it's not for me. So I guess I wouldn't necessarily go in that direction because there's nothing other than the touch and let go every now and then. I wouldn't be stimulated, if you like. You know, and if I got my girl, then why would I be looking for friends with benefits?
So what was your take on the friends? Why is that any sort of a thing to think about, that if she's a friend with a benefit, then would you take on then? I don't see the obstacle in thought. Like there's nothing, if it's just you know what I'm saying, if it's just a leg over, then it's going to be a leg over now. So it's an easy,
yeah, but nothing's
decision.
changed. In the years that have passed in between, nothing has changed other than it being what it is, not even what it is, but what it was. And you can't be in something that's going to be stagnant for, let's say the gap is 5-10 years. You can't still go back to doing something you were doing 10 years ago. That don't make no sense, especially with the same person. If it's a new somebody, then that's a different thing because it's something new to you. You're getting to know a different person sort of thing. But you can't go back to something that was extremely limited, and then you have that 10-year gap, and then you're going back to the same limitations. That don't make no sense. There's no progression in that at all.
Wow, Leo had me because I thought it was a brer, and he was like, someone's calling him, and I don't really know the dynamics of homosexual friend with benefits. I don't know if it differs. So when he mentioned that, I was like,
is Leo not a guy? Sorry, I thought Leo was
so for Leona or something, I guess. I was just thinking Leo was short for Leo.
Oh shit! I apologize. I thought Leo was a guy as well. Wow, assumptions, huh?
Yeah, man. You know, I was definitely upset.
Okay, so Leo being female does not agree with friends with benefits. Okay. I can understand a woman not agreeing with it too tough, whereas a man might be more for it because obviously not so obviously, but men tend to get more out of these things than women do on occasions. But
But do they though? Like people still have women in this victim role. They're in a power position. I don't think that the men get more out of it.
I think women, to stereotype and to generalize, women would be looking for the emotional side as well, isn't it? So they would, even though I don't know, because when I was in this friends with benefits situation, I didn't even know I was in this situation, and it was only after I took time and thought about what was going on that hold on, she's got me in a friends with benefits situation, because she's telling me I can't ring her too tough. She's telling me we ain't linking to go out to the pictures or to dinner or nothing. Right. Is that all it is? She rings me in the middle of the night, 1 o'clock. Oh, what you doing? How about I come over? What? And I'm like, oh, okay. She's finished work. She's done her things, and now she wants a piece of me. But it was just simply that it was a friends with benefits situation.
Well, sometimes the woman is, her friend with benefit is a tide over till she can find someone she can build that emotional connection with, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? With most, I mean, as Shadow Girl said, if both parties agree to it, that's fine. In terms of agreeing to or understanding why it's a friends with the benefits, I don't think that's necessarily important. It's just to understand the terms of the relationship. But some people use the man as a tide over till she can find. She's actively looking. It's like you're temping because you're trying, but you're trying. I always use relationships as jobs. I make the comparison because I think that by doing that, I feel that one can go about in a correct fashion. And some people will use the friends with a benefit as a temp job while you're applying for that permanent position somewhere else. So you might not even tell the permanent position that you're temping. They're like, well, you're working right now. You're like, no, I'm just actually, revising some things because I'm trying to get into my, the position that I want as a branch manager. And the permanent position might say, you know what, she looks well sorted and all that. I think I'm going to take her on. And then as that, she starts to assign less hours to the temp position till afterwards she gives you that 1 day notice and says, you know what, I don't need a temp position anymore. I'm good. That's how it goes.
I think I agree with that analogy. That's it. But like I said, at the I didn't know what was going on at all. I just thought, okay, yeah, she's not quite my girl, but we're getting, and it was after a while when I think we was on some type of, well, she instigates breaks and the link ups and whatever anyway, but I was like, what is going on here? And then it just hit me. I was like, rah. This is nothing more than a friends with benefit. She's calling the shots. She's this, she's that. Because she would tell me how she's going out raving. She'd tell me how she's going to dinner. She'd tell me. So why can't I go? Wagwan. But yeah, I was just like.
Leo is saying that the woman has low self-esteem and doesn't value herself. I find that there's a flaw in that type of thinking, and I still think that people throw too much power on sex and the need of it. I don't see anything wrong with a person dealing with that until she gets into something that is more appropriate for a time frame, and that's the problem where some people feel that I have to be in a relationship, but they're not ready for a relationship and they become serial monogamists. You know what I'm saying? And Leo, even if you were that friend before and you're awake now, it doesn't mean that others had your sense of low self-esteem if you felt you had it. Some people know exactly what they want. They know what they're in it for, and they have a plan. If you don't have a plan, it doesn't correlate to saying that someone else doesn't have a plan. There's some people that they're very sure what they want. Once they're finished, and that's just a sense of emotional maturity. Once you're emotionally mature, you know what things are going to elicit emotional responses in you, and you know how to control them. You know, so I don't agree and say that a person that gets into that has low self-esteem.
I agree. I don't think that even if someone wants to do that for the whole of their lives or whatever, I don't think it's a question of low self-esteem. One can, because these are buzzwords that people are using for whatever purpose, to hold people in a category or whatever. I think if someone wants to do something, then they just do whatever it is that they want. I don't think we could be or should be labeling them, because you don't actually know why, unless you're specifically saying that at that time you had low self-esteem and you now recognize it. You know, you can give yourself that label, but I don't think in general people should be giving other people that may do the same actions the same labeling. But
you're only your own. I don't think that because you're a woman you can talk from a woman's perspective. Again, now you're coming from a British standpoint. My point is a little more wider, because I've been to and I've linked in different countries. I'm just going to keep it standard because I tend to do that. But I don't just link. I mentally link. And I look at what people do, and I look at the results. I look at their behavior. I look at the outcome, and I find that there's what do you call the puritanical mindset in Britain, this sexual suppression, or I can't do this, I can't do that, or this and this is low self-esteem. But if you look at the results, it has not shown a healthy progression in relationships. It's like, oh, then based on that, you should be in a meaningful relationship now. Well, I'm not, because all the men are no good. Then it's like, no, I don't think that, because if you bring someone else from somewhere else, they get into a situation. Give you an example. I had a friend that she was kind of like that. She came in, she was letting it go left, right, and center. So I'm a London man, you know, so I was kind of thinking, rah. But bottom line is, she's married now, and, you know, still married and knew what she wanted. So I just think that it just depends on the culture you're from. But just because a certain action is deemed low self-esteem in one culture doesn't make it universally a low self-esteem act.
I'm like I said, I'm wary of these buzzwords like low self-esteem and no self-esteem having people, because they do tend to just hold people in boxes.
I agree. You know, there's a lot of people throw labels out, but when you ask them to explain what it is, they can't. They'll say, oh, well, I'm like, how do you know? Well, because it was me. Well, that's you. Doesn't mean that it's the same for everyone else. This is a big world. There's different cultures where, you know, for instance, in Brazil, they lips you immediately if you go in a club, but it don't mean nothing. Like, we're talking tongue in mouth. She's down your throat, and night done, she's off with her friends, gone home. Boom. So, she's a this, she's a that. She's loose. Nah. That's just what they do. So, how can you confine that particular individual? And Brazil has about 100 million people, which is way more than the entire United Kingdom. So, where do we categorize people in regards to that? That's just all I'm saying regarding that. And I agree. That's why I agree with you, Mr. Case. Like, it's too easy to just fling off words left, right, and center and just say this one is this and this one is that, because they decide to jump in friends with benefits or friends with purpose, etc., etc.
Oasis has said sometimes that's all people want is friends with benefits. Sometimes they don't want a full-blown relationship. It's got nothing to do with low self-esteem. Sometimes they just want to have sex with this certain person. And I agree with that. I agree with that. And I'm not really a friends with benefits type of person. Although I know it's got its place in society and around me, but I'm not. I'm down for sort of not. Yeah, I'm more an exclusive type of guy.
Yeah, I mean, if you draw into that, some people might look and say, "Are you married to Leo?" Lil's like, well, no, I'm not. Then they're like, okay, you got low self-esteem. Because if you had high self-esteem, you'd be married now. So you know what I'm saying? Like, people can do, there's cultures where they're like, are you married? No. How old are you? I'm 27. You're 27 and you're not married. You're no use. You're no use. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because in some jobs that I do, when other guys talk, oh, so what does your wife do? I'm like, why you assume that I'm oh, you're not married? Oh, why? Oh, no, I just got my girlfriend. We're cool. Oh, how come you're not? How come you're not? You know, why is it that you have to get married in order to be who you are?
It's all cultural. It's all cultural. All this, you gotta be in this relationship that's going somewhere. You gotta do this. It's gotta fall in this line. If you swap partners on the weekend under mutual consent, then you're not this and that. And again, I'm in total accordance with Mr. Case. You're throwing labels out that just because you wear Versace, it don't mean that Versace is the law of fashion. Some people might want to wear Lacrosse. It don't mean that their outfit is inferior to yours. So these labels are not all-encompassing. They're really your label, you know? So that I'm in total accordance with Mr. Kaysen, and I've seen enough people and seen their success to know. Like I said, my friend, she was letting it go like crazy, but she's married. So if she's married and in a fulfilling relationship, but someone who said, "Rare, look at that, they're not married," then who am I to look forward to? Because isn't the ultimate goal isn't marriage the final frontier of relationships?
What you're saying is if that's a death sentence.
No, I'm saying that we aspire to something. Like when we learn how to read, we start ABC. Ultimately, if we look at someone who can write books and lecture about language, we're like, rare, that person's at the upper tier, and this person who's still struggling to find out that D comes after C is not at that level. So in the scale of relationships, we look at marriage as like you can't go further in terms of commitment than a marriage. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying if you see someone that's letting it off like a boomerang, but they're married, and I see someone who's like, no, don't do that. That's low self-esteem, this and that. And I'm like, that person's not married. Who do I look for? Who do I look as a guide? I'm looking at the person who has accomplished the utmost tier. That's a logical way to look at it.
What is I said this on the last chat show that we had a couple of weeks ago. What is it with women particularly and commitment? So you're talking to somebody on a friendship level, maybe even you want to sort of like get a little bit closer than that, but they're talking and they're gearing you towards some sort of commitment within this friendship that you just sort of like started out on. Why would you pressurize someone? Why would you say to someone that, yeah, I'm looking for a committed relationship? I want to be in a committed relationship. Yeah, we all want something. We're aiming for, but why is it that you don't know nothing about this person, but you're putting this pressure on them in the early stages at that you want to be, or this has to be, and if it's not, I don't want to know. I want to be in a committed relationship. What's that all about?
I don't know. Sometimes I feel it sounds like a sentence, man. Like I'm trying to lock you down, and you know what I'm saying?
This is it. It's like, you know, I mean, even like with regards to things like no sex before marriage. What kind of foolishness is that? Why would you commit? Why would anybody commit to something when I don't know you? Why would I even entertain you if you're saying to me, you know, I've got to go through all of this before I get it. I'm not saying that I'm out for sex like straight away or even at all from this person, but I don't understand why this has to come up in a conversation. Why is it that it's got to be a topic at all? You could talk about everything else. Talk about the cows crossing the motorway and getting hit down and then turning into beef jerky or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I just think a lot of times people, they watch TV and they look at what the trends are and they follow the trends. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, and I think that more people should speak to the elders. They should speak to their grandparents, their grandmom. If they're a woman, speak to grandmom, speak to granddad, see what their thoughts are. Just because they're older, I think older people have a wiser take on things. They've seen what's going on. They've seen reality. They've seen a lot of replays. So all this social media and all this, he did this and he did that, so that means he's this and that. It's just all smoke screens. You know what I'm saying? So
okay, Leo says that she's telling you what she's hoping for the future, which is all fine and dandy, but the future can be either tomorrow or it can be like 10 years down the road. So why are you forcing on this? Why are you forcing this on me for tomorrow, as an example, or even in 5 years' time? Why not wait for the 10 years? What's with the pressure, man?
I don't know. Maybe we should get. You should also get men who are that traditional and see what they're like, because there are men who want that. And there was a guy, I was doing something else, and I don't know how old he was. I'm guessing from it he may have been younger than I thought. He just had a big beard, so I thought he would be at a certain age. But he was like, he would meet women and he wanted to take it slow. And true say he'd never done the thing before, if you know what I'm saying. You do. So, but that was like a deal breaker. Like, they would be like, then they'd lose interest. Because I feel that often if they feel that man ain't done that before, he's got some flaws with him, and a lot of women like a seasoned man. They don't want to be the guide to the man. They don't want to be okay.
Testing ground.
Yeah, put your left foot forward, put your right foot forward. There you go. They want someone who can teach them. So a guy like that would have a more pristine view, and he'd be like, he's definitely about committed relationships, but he wasn't getting that kind of response. So it shows that people just have these labels, but when you have someone who's like, yes, I do want a committed relationship, then why didn't that work out?
Right, Leo's saying that, or suggesting that, in having this conversation with this woman, as an example, that why would I be assuming that she's referring to myself, referring to having a committed relationship with myself? No, it's not even so much that. It's the fact that it's mentioned, because it takes the conversation. Or the thinking to a different level. It's like, as an example, this might be a perfectly fine woman, but it's like, for example, farting in a relationship. So you've just met this person and you started farting in front of them. Now, that's something that you keep for your husband. And when you and your husband's been married for like 15, 20, 30, 50 years, that's when you first fart with your husband. Why are you farting in front of me? We don't have that link. We don't have that closeness. So why would you be fighting? And that's what I'm saying, in that type of a conversation, you're looking for commitment. You want commitment. You want it to be in a committed relationship, rare. That's not for me. Save that for an appropriate person.
So are you saying, Mr. Case, that they should be able to see from the way you move that you're not the one for a committed relationship?
No, what I'm saying is, don't assume that it's okay. It's like we're swearing in front of somebody. You can't assume that it's okay to swear in front of somebody. Because if they haven't sworn in front of you, why would you say, effing hell, man? The liberty, effing this, effing. Why would you do that? It's like bad etiquette. You don't.
Do you think the common premise of entering a relationship with someone, like if someone's in your room, I don't know how it starts with you when you've decided that you and that person are gonna start stroking on a regular, but when is that decision made? And if it's made, is the common assumption that it's gonna be meaningful, or is the common assumption that it's gonna be a fun thing until decided otherwise. What is a common consensus now?
I think
in London, like I want to hear it from the room honestly. I don't want these magical terms. When you lot, because I know none of you lot live in the icebox. So when you do meet someone who's, over 6'8" and whatever, caramel or chocolate skinned with all the right features that they've got, and you decide it's time for it, what is the common premise assumed entering? I think
that when one is entering into a meaningful relationship, which is meaningful to you, you should trust your instincts. You should know when to do, when not to do certain things. Because if you're looking for any outside sort of like pointers, they're going to point you in the wrong direction. So, for example, if say for example, I'm talking to a woman and she relies on something I say in order to get in bed with me, yeah, she's always, forever, ever, ever going to be regretting that. If her mind was telling her, not tonight, I'm wearing my tear-up drawers, not tonight. Her mind and her body was telling her not tonight, but I convinced her one way or another, yeah, baby, let's do it tonight. I can't wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow I might be dead. She's always going to be regretting it. You have to follow your own instincts. And whatever your mind, your heart, your body, everything else is telling you. Don't let someone influence you into doing something that you know you don't want to do.
But to play devil's advocate, I mean, to throw it back in, you did say with the FWB, Friends with Benefit thing, you thought that it was something deep, but she just had you in the temp job position. So,
no, I thought it was something deeper.
So that's deep. So deep or deeper is deep. FWB ain't really deep. That's just a skim off the surface. You snatch
right, but that's the
dragonfly from the surface of the lake and you're gone.
That's the type of person that I am. I don't like to do things with people who I don't see it's going to last any length of time. So as an example, we knew each other for a number of years. Before we actually did anything, which is all fine by me. I got to know her a little bit. She got to know me a little bit. Things like where she lived or she knew where I lived, that sort of thing. I wouldn't be doing anything with somebody where I didn't know where they lived and they didn't know where I lived, sort of thing. That to me, them things, that's foolishness. So we've gone past that. We've done the do a good couple of times or whatever. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we're getting somewhere. But then I saw the pointers and then I got confirmation along the way that that's all it was. I should have followed my own mind. I should have followed my own mind in that, why aren't we going out to places? Why aren't we doing this? Similar to something that a woman might think, how come he introduced me to his family type of thing? And if you're a guy and you haven't introduced a woman that you're seeing over a period of time you haven't introduced her to your family, she's going to be thinking, this guy takes me as a joke. And that's exactly how I felt.
Yeah, but your thing now, you're saying that because she didn't clarify it, you kind of felt, you seemed like you said you felt a kind of way. So I'm saying that going forth, do you approve of the way she went about it? Because she just did what she did and you went with something else. Don't you appreciate the clarity of purpose by saying, hey, Mr. Case, you're cool, but you ain't that cool. I'm just trying to get,
nothing was actually clarified per se. It was certain things was said, and then things started to make sense to me because despite what people might think, I'm not of this touch and Lego sort of mentality. Like I said before, the Mr. Case persona is real online. It's not me in real life. But now I've had to drag a piece of Mr. Case online into reality to sort of like try and balance out the playing field. It's not, at the end of the day, if you grow with somebody, you grow in a good neighborhood, you went to a good school, you got good parental values and all of this type of thing, yeah, you're always going to be a good person. Deep down, even if you do wrong things, you're going to be a good person. But then so that's me. So even though I might engage in certain acts, that don't mean say I'm a bad person. And this is what I was looking at. Like I said, when I get involved in relationships, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, this can go somewhere. And I don't do little relationships. I don't do 1 week, yes, or and what. No, I'm looking for a long-term relationship because that's what I need.
My question is, do you approve of the way she handled that? Is that something you're like, yeah, I like that? Or would you have preferred more clarity?
I don't approve of it.
But the thing is, the reason, so now you don't approve of it, but she's doing what you do.
No.
She did what you do. She didn't clarify it. And
No. It's fine that she didn't clarify it because I have learnt. I'm not trusting no woman. You get me? So
isn't a relationship based on trust though? So
no.
A relationship. You're saying, I'm just playing advocate here. I'm not trying to get at your character or anything, but I'm just saying it sounds confusing because you're saying you don't want her to state, I want a committed relationship, but then you've got some who didn't state that she wants a friends with benefit. She didn't state anything, and you suddenly found that you're being roped into a situation, and you're like, rah. So you saying you didn't really, it was confusing to you. So I was asking you, do you want that behavior to continue? Do you want women to come in and you've got to figure it out? Don't you like a little
no
clarity?
No, clarity and communication has nothing to do with a steady relationship. The only thing
it does.
No, hear me. The only thing that is the only thing that can be number one in any type of relationship is understanding. Without understanding, it's pointless having any of the others.
Yeah, but you're just playing on words here. You're using
no.
If clarity and communication leads to understanding.
No.
If I'm clear in my communication, you understand where I'm at. If I say, listen, miss, I just want to beat that, give you the vicious back shot, and I'm off about my business. That's pretty clear, and you understand.
No. The reason why it's not clear, and the reason why it's not even that important, is because it's easy to say something. It's easy to do something. Understanding is not something that's said or done. It's a sense. You have an understanding of the world. The world don't have to tell you nothing. You have an understanding that you're gonna die. You understand how life goes. No one don't have to tell you because you understand. You see it.
Communication is a mixture of two. It's a mixture of actions, but you also need words. Like sometimes you have to combine both. You don't really separate two. I do like to look at actions, but I look at people and what they say to see if their behavior is congruous, which means it's their behavior. Does it follow their actions? And I do agree that sometimes people throw labels that they don't understand, but I still will listen and say, you know what? That person does stand by what they say most of the time. So I do get you that some people ask for committed relationships and their behavior is nothing like it. Like some people I've heard people say, I want to understand you or let's communicate, but it's a monologue. They're just talking. When I talk, they can't wait to get their words in. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, you've been around me all this time. You don't even know what I like. So I'm like, then I don't think you're ready for a relationship.
Right. That's exactly what I'm saying. So the communicating's been going on, as in you've been saying, you've been showing or what, but they don't understand you. They don't get you, and I always find that what people need is, a good sense, a good amount of absence from you. If you've been trying to show them something all this time, particularly in a relationship type of setting, they need some absence from you because they need to churn over the type of things that you were communicating. Then they will understand. That understanding, you can't tell them how to understand you. They will understand sooner or later, even if they don't agree with you. It's nothing to, because people do tend to say to people things that they think they want to hear, and even though I might say something to you, I lie to you. You understanding why I'm lying to you is on a different level. It's a different thing completely.
I think I see what you're saying. I mean, I think you dislike the use of words. Like some people are quick to come up with words and so on and so forth, and I get that. I feel that, but I'd still think that the words are important, because if you got someone that you're pretty much saying their words don't mean anything, then they might as well not say anything. They just come in and you just read pure body language.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They come in and you're like, oh, I can see you're hungry just from the way you fling off your shoes. They didn't even have to say what's in the fridge. You're just like, I feel you want sausage today because your left eyebrow just arched in that special type of way.
Yeah,
so
you know somebody, so you understand what this means. There's no, I mean, okay, it's a visual, in such cases, a visual communication, but there's an understanding behind it. Shadow Girl says that I'm taking it that Shadow Girl is a girl.
Can't be sure these days. We need clarity in communication for the understanding. That's what's going on. Especially online, because we can't see the eyebrows arching to know that it's a female or a male.
The flared nostrils. Shadow Girl says that I've had longer lasting friends with benefits than I have committed Yeah, why is that? I mean, okay, committed relationship takes a lot more effort and time as well. Investment, time invested and stuff. So maybe it's sort of like not necessarily taken for granted that such would be the case, but why is it that you've had more friends with benefits than you have committed relationships?
Maybe she's one of those who, she's, it could be either she's just not a relationship type of woman, or the label of relationships bother her. And they bother me sometimes, because some people start to say this and it's like, we're in a relationship, we're supposed to do this. And I'm like, you're more focused on what the relationship is than actually doing something. You're focusing on people in a relationship are supposed to go cinema. They're supposed to go for walks. They're supposed to get flowers. It's like you're not even in the moment. You're just focused around what the moment's supposed to be.
This is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Because we've been seeing each other now for 4.5 years. This is what we're supposed to do. When really what you need to do is just get on with what you're doing, rather than what you're supposed to be doing. And like Shadow Girl has said, she says that she's found them easier to deal with, because you know what the parameters are. There is no, I got to make sure I cook his dinner, that I need to buy the flowers, I need to do this. No, you just link up, you do what you're doing, and you go back. I was going to say one juk, one wash, and then you go. But not as crude, but yeah.
Not as crude. You already let it out, man. It is what it is, man. Yeah. I mean, some people they just don't, the labels and all that. It's just burdensome. I mean, if you find someone who's in the same as you, it can become a committed relationship. People just create these parameters. Like me, I'm very easygoing, and sometimes I meet people and we just become that. I was linking someone for a long time, and I think that's what she wanted, and she just found that I'm very easygoing. And she was usually the one where the men are like, Ray, I don't hear nothing, but she actually became the one hitting me up, because I'm so easygoing, it's like I ain't even there. You know what I mean? So she was like, Ray, are you there? Like, where you, because sometimes when I travel, I don't even let people know. You know what I'm saying? They're hitting me up. Then I'm like, oh, well, I was actually out of town. You know what I'm saying? Or out of country. So
right.
I just exhibit such a nonchalant behavior that even the ones who men are like, she doesn't show any level of consideration or care, they become the chasers. So my point in that is, if you find someone who is similar to you like that, essentially it becomes a committed relationship, because you're both operating on the same frequency. It's just about knowing yourself and being surgical with the type of people you are. You don't have to link someone because on paper they're nice. Oh, look at that person. Look at that guy. He's a nice guy. He's nice for you. But for me, it's not nice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you just be surgical. You're like, yeah, he's cool, but he's not my type.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot what I was going to say now. But yeah, Shadow Girl said that if one lover isn't available, no problem, just approach the next. Is that how you going on?
I agree. That's 2016.
For real, that's even like 2017 flex right there. That's a flex in the making.
Yo, it come like an app. You just flick. You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you.
You use a finger and you just keep flicking.
Flicking. Oh, he's available. Yep, him tonight.
Match it up.
That's my dial and ride right there.
Yeah, man, that's how it goes, man.
But I've also had the like you say, me myself, I'm quite easygoing because I think it's the best way to go in any type of situation that you're in, even if it's a confrontational situation. The way to deal with it is just to be more easygoing than to look to take it on and battle with it. So in the past, I've had an ex say about the relationship that I'm in that, you know, the reason why she's upset or she can't figure you out is because you're too cool. You're too cool with that. Why am I getting upset? Why am I bothering myself with things that I don't need to? We got food, we got money, we're all right. What is there? You know, and even this girl at the time, she was saying stuff to me like, oh, if I was to cheat on you, you wouldn't even be bothered. But if you want to cheat, go and cheat, innit? No, seriously, what am I going to do about it? It's nothing to do with me. If you want to go and cheat, you've already made that decision for whatever reason, right? So why am I going to get stressed and I'm going to hunt you and the man down and killing her and then me in prison? No, Stark. You go and do your thing and be happy, and I'll go elsewhere and do my thing and be happy.
I mean, as Shadow Girl says, some people do feed off of moderation. Like some people, the currency that they deal with, the language they understand is drama. And if you're mad cool or you're very chilled, you're not giving them the sustenance they want. And if you don't give them the sustenance, they will scratch until they get the sustenance. Like they're looking for someone. It's like a vampire bat. It would ideally like to find someone who's leaking from a wound, so it can just go in and stick in the fangs and start, you know what I'm saying, absorbing what it needs to. But if it finds someone with flawless surface where there's nothing leaking, it's got to penetrate that surface. So some people will try and create that type of drama because that's what they find. That's what they consider love. That's what they consider you care about them. You rare. Who is that you talking to? I dealt with one,
and that's me. I'm not really a person to be raring and all that because that's raising my blood pressure. I had my blood pressure checked the other day, and my blood pressure is nice and low, and my pulse rate is 47 beats per minute. Now that's low. I want to keep it like that, all right?
You're not trying to get to 60 any soon, right?
I'm telling you, jeez, who could be dealing with that 60 beats per minute? No, man, leave me at my 47. I'm cool. In my relaxed state.
Yeah, there are some people that are like that. I've met some that will be like that. They'll just fling out. I dealt with one. She was very she liked that kind of stuff. She'd do certain things and overreact, a lot of melodrama, and, you know, like she had a lot of guys texting her. A lot of guys would text her, and I'm like, okay, I see that, and the phone will be going off at night, and I'm just like, I'm not the type to tell someone how to behave. And at a certain point, she said, oh, well, my ex never said nothing like that. And I said to her, listen, you're a big woman. I'm not the one to tell someone how to operate in a relationship, especially when it comes to the base fundamentals. Like if I invite you to my house to eat, I'm going to assume that you're going to pick up the cutlery that I put there. If you ram your face first into the plate and start going,
like some Yeti.
I'm like, you do not have the fundamentals, and I'm not going to start and teach you there.
Like
you know
Chewbacca.
So, yeah, you just have people that are like that, you know, they do feed off of that, and you decide how you want to take it. If you like a little drama, there are men that like a little drama. There are women that like a little or a lot of drama, both parties. If that's what you're into, that's what you're into. If you're not, they're going to fade out because they can't pierce the surface. With me, they can't really pierce it because they'll try that. They're like, oh, do you mind if I go and chill with that guy? I'm like, yeah, you chill with her here. And I'm going to chill with my platonic female friend.
And when you come on the yard next time,
like, what are you getting all hyped for?
The door lock's been changed and all of that. No, I was seeing this girl as well, some whole heap of years back. And like you say, it was just pure charm. It's just pure argument. And I'm not an argumentative type of guy. I just want to be just cool. If you got something to say, say it. If you actually want an argument, I can argue, but it gets nasty and I don't really like being nasty like that. But she was always raring. I was like, what the One time I was cussing her, and that's another thing I don't really like doing is cussing on the phone, because the other person ain't due to be listening anyway. And you're there going off at 2 million words a minute. And before you know it, she's hung up the phone like about 2 minutes ago. I'm not really one like that. So I was raring on the phone out in the street. And my brother saw me and he goes, who's that you arguing with? Why are you arguing? I goes, oh, such and such. So he goes, oh, he knew it couldn't have been like someone else that we knew, sort of thing. I was like, yeah, no, man, it's just this idiot girl. I'm not one to be going into one like that at all. So I just rather just be cool with my 47 beats per minute pulse, and that's it. Hey, just leave the woman alone.
I swear, it's just research purposes. I am not.
I bet it is.
I'm fully uncommitted to my relationships right now, so I'm not trying to.
10-second video. Boy, you're dangerous. You're too dangerous.
We're in the multimedia era, so a video tells 1,000 pictures, and and one picture tells 1,000 words. So that's just how it goes.
Right, I'm going to play one more tune, then I'm going to come back. We've got just about 25 minutes left of the show. Just want to thank everybody that's tuned in, those of you on the inside as well as those of you on the outside of the chat room. There's quite a few of you on the outside. It would have been great. It would have been a lot better if more of you came into the chat room. In the chat room, we've got Caramel, got Mr. H, obviously, got Shadow Girl, got Soulful Eyes, got Oasis, and Leo. I'm not too sure if Leo is in and out or whatever the case may be. But once again, thanks for everyone for tuning into today's show. So I'm going to play a tune, then we're going to be back in a few minutes. Not sure what's going on there with that tune there. Anyway, we're back. Still got H on the line, and we're talking about friends and friendship. Big shout goes out to Guava Jelly, just joined us in the chat room. How you doing, my darling? Long time no see. Sorry, a big caught off guard there. Still got the coughs. So yeah, we just got about 20 minutes left of the show. I want to put this question out there, see what H thinks and see what the room thinks as well. So, if you imagine a crush that you've had, an old-time friend crush that you've had for a number of years, I don't know, maybe about 5 years, maybe more, their partner has very recently passed away. How long do you wait before you make a move on that girl, on that person, I should say?
So someone I had a crush on and her partner passed away.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't make a move. Like, I have certain views on certain areas that I don't like to go into. Shadow Girls at the funeral, rah. Nah, there's just Shadow Girls.
Cold.
Yeah, I just have certain things where I'm like, there's so much fish in the sea that I would just like, you know what, leave it and just go hard at something else just to compensate for that desire I've got. It's too messy.
I'm in agreement with you 100%, and this was a question on one of the groups that I'm in, and people were saying, like Shadow Girl says at the funeral, I would leave it alone. As a matter of fact, that would be a reason never to try and pursue her, at least openly, ever again. Like you say, I would divert that type of energies elsewhere just to make sure that I don't approach her in that manner.
Yeah, I had yeah, but there's just some what if shadow that I just they're just messy. I was dealing with someone earlier this year, and she had a lot of bees in her beehive, if you know what I'm saying, like a lot. And it was just like I just thought like this is just not for me, man. Like, and the way I am, a lot of people just let it all out. Like I'm just their doctor, if you want to call it. I am their doctor. I am their therapist, whatever you want to call it. But she was just like, they get comfortable. I met her and I was, doing something, and we started dancing, and she's talking. She's liking the cadence of my voice and all that. But yeah, we met, and she's just unloading like everything from teenage years all the way up, and I just had my eyes closed thinking, do I have a sign on my head that just says agony uncle?
Maybe you don't have the sign, but you've got the attributes. Like you've obviously got a listening ear. You've got maybe some might see it as a cool tone of voice for responding with. And you're just there for her.
It could be. I mean, I realize that because this pattern seems to be in place. I've been in areas where man will be like hoodlum or something, and he's telling me about a girl that broke his heart, and I'm like, I'm not the hoodlum. You know what I'm saying? The gangster line romance resolver. I'm like, I don't even know this guy on that level. I don't even know his real name. I just know his name as Trigger or Ganja. You know what I'm saying? And the guy's giving this all, and I'm like, did I come in with a sign around my neck saying I'm here to resolve these things? So I've seen the pattern, but the point I was making is that it when she was telling me all this, it just seemed a lot, and I wouldn't want to have that by dealing with someone who's gone through that. I don't know if it's fair, because I don't want to be that person to help them get over that. Just because I have a crush on them doesn't mean that I want to go that far with them. A crush is just like, she looks good and I'm triggered on a primal level, but it doesn't mean that
But then,
I want to.
But then, so you're saying that your crush overrides your friend status with them. So because you had a crush or have a crush with them, you can't be a friend to them.
No, it doesn't. Like when we're talking friends, this is deep, and my nature is I try to provide a solution to. That's just who I am as a man. I can't help it. I can't just listen and you're telling me you've got, like, if you come to me and say, you know what, I don't know what to do. Like, I just can't get the type of occupation I want, or I've got this business and it's just not launching the way it will. The type of person I am, my mind's going to start scouring my brain. And
you'll be thinking, I got something that I want to launch in you, baby.
Well, no, but yeah, I see what you're saying. But no, I'd be more thinking, let me try and help that person with my contact list. Like, I might know someone who's doing something that will help them out. That's because that's what I would want someone to do for me. But some people have so many things going on that I can't help them, and they may not even want help. They're just unloading everything. You know, like someone says, I want to be Wonder Woman. Obviously, that's not realistic. It's never going to happen. But they're just unloading everything. And I'm like, nah, I can't. I'm not going to be able to provide that to you. So that's why I wouldn't deal with someone who had gone through that, because there's going to be a lot of emotional turmoil going on in their head. And I'm just really looking for something a lot lighter than that.
Okay, so you wouldn't be entertaining, well, not even entertain, you wouldn't be pursuing anyone that's available through some sort of drama, if we're calling death a drama.
Yeah, death is a drama, and I wouldn't actively pursue that. That's like going to That's like linking women from a funeral home.
But that's what, you know what, that's what some man does do. I see it happen and I'm like, you're hooking up with her only because you know that she's in this vulnerable state. Because I didn't see you link her before. I didn't see you around her before.
Sorry, did you repeat that for me?
I was just saying that some men, they're just like harbor sharks. They'll see a woman wounded from a funeral, whereas they weren't linking her before, but because of the funeral and the situation, they come linking her now.
Yeah, you got some who do that. I just won't. I mean, I'm not saying it whether it's right or wrong. I just don't want it. Some people like the drama. The drama is like spice for them, but I don't like that type of spice. There's a friend of mine who told me that I should go prison and link the gal them whose man are doing life sentences. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, that's just like, it's too much drama. Like, real talk, like one of my friends, he's like, yo, like the girls there, like they're on it because their man's not coming out anytime soon, so just wait at the exit and chirps them from there.
Yeah, and then he's got people on the outside that sees you. Next thing you know, drive-by happening right by where you are.
Some people like that, and I'm just like, I just want a simple life. You know what I'm saying? I can't get into all that. To know, I have nothing against those who pursue that, but I know what I'm gonna do, and that boils back again to what you said earlier regarding friends. There's certain levels that I'm willing to offer, and there's certain that I'm not. I'm not your relationship therapist on a personal level. I'm not gonna offer that to you. I'm not gonna pretend that I'll offer that to you. Go and find someone else. You know, maybe one of your male friends that you claim as a friend has been around for forever. That's just looming. Ask them to help you out. But for me, I'm not going to do it. I'll drive you to the shop and we can pick up some cabbage and chicken wings, but I'm not going to be that person. And that's just me being real with them.
Shadow Girl said that death can be an aphrodisiac. When humans start thinking about their own mortality, that can trigger the hardwire to mate. Yeah, maybe, but I just think it's kind of morbid. I think, and I think it's also disrespectful that you or that one would target somebody at such a vulnerable state. Because obviously they're going to want some sort of condoling, they're going to want some sort of shoulder to lie on, and for you to sort of like step to them and as if to say, yeah, you're this knight in shining armor at this time, I think it's kind of low. At least give the woman in this case, say the time to what's it called?
Maybe some grievance time. You have that grievance period.
Give it the time to grieve and get over. Well, not necessarily get over, but grieve, and then sort of like, so how you doing? I'm fine, but I'm just lonely. Oh, okay. Well, if you're lonely, we could maybe take in a movie or something. But, you got to be sort of like, as far as I'm concerned, you got to be tippy-toeing. You ain't saying, yeah, okay, she's looking for something. And then just hurry up in, because it ain't going to last no length of time.
It's like it's too dependent, that type of relationship for me. It's like you've taken the place of something that, it's almost like, when they say get under someone to get over someone else, it's like you're a rebound, but you're a big rebound if you come in at the funeral home. That's like a different type of rebound. And it's like, I don't want to be that type of rebound, because you might be the rock, but the rock you are might be, they're trying to build a whole country on the rock that you're providing. You're like, you know what, I'm just a rock for you to hold your hand on while you get your feet set, but I wasn't here for you to build a house on. But because you were the only thing that was solid at that time, she's going to try and build a country with a political system and an ecosystem on you. And you're like, rah, I only intended for you to put your elbow on me, and you're coming here with land and agriculture, and it's like, it's too much. And that's just how I see that. So personally for me, I say no, because I've had people that try to build a country on me, and I'm like, listen, I just came here to see if we could do some gymnastics, and you're coming in with a whole a whole other thing.
Shadow Girls says that the worst they can say in that situation is no. No doesn't have to end the world. You're just giving them the option. That's fine, giving them the option. But if you're going to be a friend, then that option will always be there. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that you're highlighting it at this time or anything. You could, like I say, give us some time to grieve. I mean, it's like with people that step to people when they know that their relationship's over. Oh, this woman, yeah, she's now available, or she's at a low point. Once again, she's feeling low. She's feeling bereft, if you like. So the man steps to her, knowing that she's going to need a shoulder to cry on, or a chest to lean on. I don't think it's a good situation for the man. Well, me being a man, supposedly, step into a woman in that situation.
I'm in total accordance with you on that. A quick side note, Shadow Girl, are you in favor of linking a man that is married, that you know is married?
I think Shadow Girl's in favor of linking anybody, you know.
I'm just curious, like if you know he's married, like see the mark when he removed the wedding ring from the wedding ring finger, you see the indentation clearly that he removed it 20 seconds before he approached you.
The sweat is still under there.
you see the I and her emblem still imprinted into his flesh. Are you in favor of going all the way with that man, or you're like, nah, I'm infringing on a relationship that's already there? What's your take on that? Because you seem like you're pretty surgical with like you generally leave them alone. What does generally mean? Because I generally don't eat pork, but
you tear up some bacon, innit?
If the bacon comes with the frankfurters with the ketchup and the bread, I will eat. But I generally don't eat pork. So what does generally mean?
That means to your face she's telling you no, but deep down, the woman turns her back and she's all over that.
Yeah, man. Like people, they say that generally, you know what I mean? I'm just like, you know, I just have my certain rules that it just for me, like it means that if something happens, I know internally that I didn't get into an awkward situation. So if I linked up someone and she's like, oh, well, my so-and-so just passed last week, I'm like, raw, but I didn't meet her at that situation. So at least I can't say, because if I meet her at the funeral home, if we go back to that, I know that it's very likely going to be messy. And that's just human nature. You can't suffer a loss and come out smooth and clean. You're not a robot. You're going to be all this, your mood state might be all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather not do that, and I don't. But that's me. I can't say. And
because you can control it as well. So it's like, you know, you're willing, like you say, you're willingly going into a particular situation knowing that it's going to get messy. You know, you only got yourself to blame if that happens.
Yeah, because some people can get real messy. I was in Houston. That's why I couldn't do the show initially. But I was chatting to this guy, and we're talking about, because there's open carry, which is basically means that man can have pistol on them, and the guys had guns. They didn't bring them in the place where we're eating, but they had them in the car. One was like, yeah, I got like something tucked behind the steering wheel. I'm like, rah, this is such a different mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like, just chatting with, it's like me saying to you, oh yeah, I got the iPhone 6, but they had the guns in that. So, one of them was like, I was just talking about, yeah, this and that. And one of them was like, yeah, he woke up with this chick and she had a knife to his throat. So he just woke up feeling that the cold steel pressed to his neck. So I'm like, I felt that he linked a chick knowing she was wild. So the drama can be an aphrodisiac, but it's an aphrodisiac that you don't know how it will turn out. It's like taking jungle Viagra. You might get wood, but you might get wood that just pops up when you don't want it. You're trying to go for an interview, and man says, well, what are your pastime hobbies? And bap, the table flips over. The wood just punched through the trousers. So that's the pros and cons that, you know what I'm saying, when you jump into drama as an aphrodisiac.
Shadow Girl says that she says generally because some men lie about their marital status, which is a very fair statement. She suspects that she may have done, but not knowingly. Once again, very fair statement there, because you want to know someone. You might even ask somebody, are you sure you're not married? Are you sure you're free to do what we're doing? Yeah, all right, cool. And then it's all a big lie just because people want to get what they want to get. She says, plus, if she decides to have sex with a man, she don't spend a lot of time asking questions. Damn, where you been all my life?
I think that's the mindset you're looking for, Mr. Case. If he comes up and he's married, do you turn him down? Or if you've already gotten into a situation with him and he picks up the phone while, in post-coital moment, like you two are recovering, and he rolls over, he picks up the phone, he's like, yeah, love. You're like, who's that? He's like, oh, it's just my wife. She asked me to bring like some formula back for the kids. Does that mean that's the last time, or do you continue? I'm just asking generally. I'm just slightly.
The guy that woke up with the knife to his throat? That was one of them situations right there. But yeah, actually, because, what do you do when a guy or somebody, it could be a woman as well, they not openly, but they lie to you, and then before they can disappear off the scene, it becomes very apparent that it was a bold-faced lie. No men with children are a no-no. Once again, how are you going to know?
Because afterwards it's too late. I was dealing with someone who, she was keeping that from me, and I wondered about the character of that. Because how I found out is, I'm wondering if I should reveal, this internet's a small place.
Go on, just say it. No one ain't listening anyway. No,
boy, when you fling that up online, before you know it, it was yeah, this and that. But yeah, she had kids, but she had the name tatted on her, on the back. So, when I'm giving it I'm like, Ray, what are these names? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, we're chilling afterwards, and I'm like, what does that name mean? Because I wonder, on this side of the world, people get silly tattoos, and I'm always curious to see where the mind state is, or where the is, and it's usually in a rubbish place anyway. Why they got it? They're like, oh, I felt it was meaningful. I'm like, no, it wasn't. It's stupid. But regardless, so I said, what are these names? Like, oh, it's this. I'm like, who is that? Is that like you have a cat you like, or what? It's like, oh, it's my my child. And I'm like, rah. Okay. But it didn't make a difference really, but I was like, it's interesting that one doesn't mention it. I'm not saying you tell me everything, but it's
something of importance, isn't it?
I feel it is. I mean, others can chime in on that. Most of all the women in who are listening, who have children, who are linking someone who is not their child's father, doesn't that come into mention, even if it's friends with benefits, or is that none of the man's business?
I think, although it may not be any of his business, I think it's common courtesy at the very least to say that, yeah, you have children or something. Unless, what's the purpose of hiding it or essentially denying your children? That don't make no sense to me.
Yeah, most women will acknowledge that. Most women will. What I find interesting or funny is when people say, I'm the mother of let's say 4. I'm the mother of 4, and I love them dearly. I'm like, why are you saying what should be the obvious? Yeah. Why do you say I love them dearly? That's like me saying I've got 2 feet or 2 legs, and I use them when I walk.
Well, maybe some women believe that, I got 5 children, I only like 2 of them. I can't stand the other flipping 3. Why don't they leave?
If you can take them off my hand,
when you leave, take them with you, all right?
Yeah, like I'll turn my back, or I'll go in the back and
just do whatever. Just take them.
Yeah, when I come back, I'm hoping to see 2 and not 5.
Make sure it's the right 2 as well. Because those three there, they just get on my flipping nerves.
I think some people, honestly, they feel that way, but society says you can't hate them. But there's some people they don't like a certain set because it's like you're just putting up with them because it's illegal to leave them at the park and go home.
Come here, James. You know you're my favorite. Don't tell Tyrone this, but here you go. Here's some money. Hold that.
Well, it's always about actions because, as you said, just watch the action. If Tyrone doesn't get shouted at, but Jamal just gets screamed at for just spilling a little water on the kitchen top, then we can see that there's a little bit of a bias in place.
Oh, poor them. Anyway, we've come to that end of the show. Essentially, it's just gone past 9 o'clock. I want to thank everyone that's taken part in tonight's show, especially Mr. H for calling in, being online for 3 hours with Mr. Case. It's not an easy thing to do. And also to everyone in the chat room. At the moment, we've got Caramel, we've got Shadow Girl, we've got Oasis, and we've got Guava Jelly. I had a few others. We had... who was it? Leo. We had Leo up in here. We had Soulful Eyes. Still got a few of you on the outside as well. It has been a great show. It would have been a lot better if a few more people rang in, just to give your views verbally, vocally. It would have had a nice, a better balance to the show, but it's all good anyway. So if we've missed any sort of like comments in the chat room, it wasn't intentional at all. So once again, big thanks to everyone, especially to H. And I'm going to play my final tune, and then I am out of here. Don't forget, you catch me each and every Thursday right here on Helix Radio between the hours of 8 and 11, and then again on Sundays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. That's UK time. So it just leaves for me to say good night. H, say good night.
Yeah, man, good night. Thank you for having me aboard, and you can follow me on Twitter at MrHandsum. That's handsome as in HANDSUM 2, the number 2. So you can follow me there. You can say what you want to me. I'm impervious to your trollisms and your whatever you want to do. So say what you want. We can have a dialogue and all that stuff. And I might fling up some pictures. Yeah. But yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for jumping aboard. And Magan, peace.
Which radio station's got the guts to stand up? Which radio station's got to be tough? Which radio station's got enough? Which radio station?
Helix Radio.